And welcome back to the CSS podcast. I'm your host, Dave Wolfers. In the middle is my son, Sam Wolfers. And on the far right is Charlie Crawley. Today, we got a great show for you. It is titled The Cincinnati Bengals Season Predictions. So all you fans of the Bengals need to stay tuned and find out which host supports our boys and which host does not support our 11 here. So, it should be a good show. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about in our topics of the week that was the FC Cincinnati. Their two matches that they had and their first loss at home. Sam and Crawley will break that down, and then we'll go into the Bearcats thumping Scott Satterfield's debut, how it looked from the stands where we were at, how it looked from the TV. If Sam saw any of that game. And then we'll go and talk about the Reds. And, they're still in it. So that's a positive thing. So we'll dive more into the COVID stuff, the illnesses, and the waiver wire and all that good stuff. So
wacky wild card.
Yep. And then we have our topic of the week, which is the Bengals, all Bengals topic. And Crawley is going to be running that segment. We will talk about our predictions record-wise, game by game, break down the schedule. And then Charlie will have a few other tidbits for us. So, but before you do that, please, hit that like, subscribe button, hit that, turn on that bell so that way you get notified when we are coming live. We are live on YouTube here today, so hopefully you're watching. We did pick up another subscriber, so thank you. So now we're up to 11, so on YouTube. So let's just keep going here. So next thing you know, we'll be breaking that quarter century mark. Come on, let's go. Let's get that 25. All right. So so all you out there, the Bengals fans, hop on and give us a thumbs up here. So. Without further ado, let's go right into the week that was. And we'll talk FC Cincinnati. They came back and from the messy stuff, and they went to Atlanta, and they won 2-1. And then they came home the other night and, took a loss to Orlando City. So, guys, your takeaways from FC Cincinnati's week?
Yeah, I didn't watch the Atlanta game. I was able to watch the Orlando game. So I don't really have too much to say other than, the two goals that they scored against Atlanta were both really good team goals. Especially the Lucho one. That was pretty impressive. That might be up there for their goal of the season so far anyways. As far as Orlando City, they couldn't really get anything going offensively. It wasn't a real clean game. I don't really know what it was. A short week coming back. I don't really know. I don't really have too much to say as to why they lost. I think it was just one of those games that was bound to happen. They weren't going to go, undefeated at home throughout the entire year. They're still, I think, 10 points ahead of second place in the East. Yeah, they're still 10 points up on New England and Orlando, who's now tied for second. So, with 7 games left to play, they're sitting in a really good spot to still claim the Supporters' Shield and have home field for the playoffs. So,
yeah, I watched a little bit of the second half of the Atlanta game, but I didn't see the Orlando game. They clinched the playoff spot. I'm gonna give a pass for the Orlando outcome to say, hey, it's possible to have especially mentally, a letdown. You clinched the playoff spot. You're 10 points ahead. I think there might even been more than that going into that game. So, it's bound to happen. Have a letdown somewhere along the way. It's not like they played extremely poorly. They still control possession over 50% with them. So, I'm gonna kind of give it a pass and kind of see how they now move into this last part of the season. What do they got? 10 games left, something like that.
7, I
somewhere.
think. I think they played
Oh,
34.
only 7 games.
Yeah.
So now it's just a matter of holding on, finishing this up, getting themselves healthy and ready. I mean, they're pretty healthy right now. So they need to. I mean, if Sergio Santos is healthy, that's a rare occasion. Right now, he actually is. So, if you get into the playoffs with him healthy, and I think they need to use this time still to figure out the forward between Santos and Bupenza, and working Bupenza in a little bit more, getting him more comfortable. So, I think they're just they need to use this last stretch to set things up for the playoffs. And I believe, and maybe Sam, knows better than me on this, if they win the Supporter Shield, does that guarantee them then a place in the Champions League? Is that one of the
And the CONCACAF Champions
one of the
League,
qualifiers into it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
so that's that's a plus, since they're out of both tournaments that are qualifying tournaments. If they win the Supporter Shield, that'll get them into that Champions League for this part of the world. So that'll be cool to see that. And so that's where we're at.
If the season ended today, who would they play first round?
Let me pull it up here. It would be the 8. Well, first I got to see how many teams make the playoffs. So 8 and 9 have a wild card. So the winner, they would face the winner of DC Montreal.
Okay.
So, and DC beat us earlier this year, like 3-0.
That's right.
I don't remember playing Montreal. Yeah, it was at DC.
DC, yeah. And then
I think we played Montreal earlier, and
I think so
fairly
too.
handily.
Yeah. See here. Yeah, we beat them 3-0 May 17th.
Costa does have to sit out the next game because of his yellow card accumulation.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
Yeah.
And then, so we will be traveling. I think we're traveling to Philadelphia, or is that a home game? September. Let's see.
Pull it up here.
I think we are
Saturday, September 16th at Philadelphia.
So we got Philadelphia.
They got 2 weeks off.
They've got they've got a little bye week kind of thing. So
right, and then they play
September 16th.
That Wednesday, I think, Montreal. They go to Montreal and play. So we'll, that's where the next two games are. So hopefully the blue and orange can, keep it going and stay healthy, because I think that's going to be the key here is we don't want to get any injuries or anything like that where we lose some players heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, Mosquera played on Saturday, so he's back. He missed 4 or 5 games, I think they said. He came on in the second half. He got about 30 minutes, so he should be hopefully good to go for the rest of the season. So that'll be huge because, I mean, he's better than Murphy is in the back line there. So that'll be good to have.
All right. Perfect. We are going to move on to the UC recap football. They opened up at NIP 3:30 this past Saturday versus EKU. And, Crawley and I, we went down. We were there, and great atmosphere. NIP was NIP, and a lot of the players and even Satterfield, they were excited to play at NIP just to be in that atmosphere, and it did not disappoint. And Emory Jones looks like the real deal. I mean, he looks really, really good. 66 points they put up, 66-10. I covered
13.
So that's good.
66.
Oh, 13.
13.
13.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, we must have left when they got a cheap field goal there, Crawley. So
yeah, they did.
Yeah. So
I love they went for a field goal when you're down 66-10 or whatever it was.
And they got to work on things, right? You never know when they have to kick that field goal to win a game. But it was a good showing for the Bearcats. My only concern is, I mean, our defense stepped up when we needed it to, but EKU moved the ball and they shot themselves in the foot in the first quarter and a half. They were marching down on the first play, and then they got behind the chains because of a penalty. And then the second time they were in the red zone and the receiver tipped the ball up, and we had an interception. For as much as our D line is getting praised and noticed, they were pretty. I mean, they were pretty absent from causing havoc early on. Like I said, when they needed to step up, they stepped up, but they were they EKU's line was opening up some holes for the running backs, and they gave the quarterback some time to throw. But offensively, that combination
a QB
of,
that can throw a deep ball. Oh
yeah,
my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, Emory
We'd have went
Jones
undefeated if we'd have had Emory Jones last year.
Yeah,
We wouldn't have lost
Emory Jones and Xavier Henderson. That connection, that's going to be tough. I mean, that's going to be real tough. Thoughts, Crawley?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they couldn't have done better on offense than they did. I mean, I don't know how you would, how you can critique anything. I mean, I guess they, maybe the offensive line, maybe a little bit on the tackles and stuff, there's a little bit of pressure, but I mean, other than that, and that's just looking for anything.
Yeah, right.
They ran the ball well. Kiner had a 54-yarder, over 100 yards for the game. Even without the 54-yarder, I think it was like 4.2 yards a carry for him. So that's good. Miles Montgomery was over 6 yards a carry. And they couldn't run. That was a big time weakness last year. We could not run the ball last year, no matter really who we played. So that's a big time positive. Of course, Emory Jones helped in a game too with versus Ben Bryant, who wasn't going to run at all. So that's a plus. Xavier Henderson looks like the real deal. I mean, he went up for a couple contested balls and just ripped the ball away from the DBs. So hopefully he can do that against Division I school, like higher level competition. But but still, I mean, it shows he has that ability to. But Emory Jones threw 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers. Mm-hmm. That's nice as well. They got Aaron Turner involved, a little guy from Connecticut. I mean, he was all over the place. They were doing end arounds and reverses and doing what they could with him. So looked fairly creative, be able to get him involved. I saw the same thing that you said, Dave, about the defense. My only on the positive note with that, I would guess they showed nothing when it came to
that's true.
Doing defensive, whatever you want to call it, tricks or stunts or running a full defense. I mean, I don't think they needed to. So, I'm going to rely on that fact that they were going to be as vanilla as you can be on defense. And so when they play Pitt, I'm hoping they'll do whatever they can. I think they're going to rush. I think they're going to blitz a lot more. I think Deshaun Pace is going to be on the quarterback a lot more than he was on Saturday, putting pressure on. So I'll take that as the maybe a somewhat of an excuse, we'll say, for some of the defensive things. However, they did hold out DKU to 2.9, I think, yards a carry, and that and they did not do. I mean, they were run on at will last year, which is surprising, as the defensive line should have been better last year. So if they, granted, you ain't got a 2.9 versus Pitt probably or whoever, but if you can just keep it manageable in the 3s or whatever for per carry, that's a big upgrade from last year. So yeah, I mean, you got to take the competition into account for Saturday's performance. But I mean, they always play an FCS school, and they played Murray State 2 years ago in the undefeated season, and they did not beat Murray State like they beat Eastern Kentucky on Saturday. I mean, I think at halftime they were only by like a touchdown or 10 points or something, because I remember going like, what is going on here? And they just took EKU to the woodshed, for the most part. So I think 97% of it is positive coming out of that game, and now they got to move on to Pitt, and let's see how they do on a road game against probably a team on paper with about pretty equal talent. So,
Sam, what'd you think?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll touch on the defense part of it. Just watching the broadcast and kind of listening to the broadcasters, they did mention how it was probably a pretty basic defense that UC was playing. And then also EKU's quarterback last year led the FCS in passing yards, was 3rd in touchdowns. So like he's not a typical FCS quarterback. They were mentioning how they were surprised that he actually went back to EKU. They thought he could have taken that step up. So if you're going to, those two things together, it's not a surprise that they were able to move the ball a little bit on the defense. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean, we'll see where they stand after the Pitt game here this week. But yeah, on offense, Emory Jones, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, when you have a quarterback that can throw a deep ball, it changes your whole offense. And it's just nice to see as compared to last year where Ben Bryant couldn't throw a deep ball to save his life. So
yeah. Well, one thing I will say about the defense, and this is where I guess even though it may have been vanilla, when you have, the Godfather who's getting all these accolades, to me, even if you are vanilla, he should have shown up more is what I'm saying. I mean, he allows, granted, he could have been getting double teamed a lot as well. So, if that, I haven't watched the coach's film on it. So, I can't speak to it if he was getting double teamed every single snap or not. But you would think with being one of the best interior defensive linemen in the nation, he would be able to throw those guys away and make some plays. But that's my concern. The hype didn't meet my expectation, but once again, a couple of factors. The game was pretty much in hand after the second series, and it was brutally hot out there. So, it was smoking. 90, 95 in the shade, and humidity was high. So, I don't want to, be too negative on the Bearcats here, but, I just foresee the Big 12 offense could give us a lot of issues. And if we can't get to the quarterback. So hopefully we can. And Pitt, like I said, we travel to Pitt, first road test of the Scott Satterfield team. And, that stadium, it's Steeler Stadium. So we'll see what we can do. I'm hoping that we can come out with a victory. I'm a little more positive seeing our offense than I was, with our predictions, last week, saying 6-6 and things like that. They, you could look at 8-4 now realistically. And, so hopefully, we can show out up at Pitt.
Yeah, especially seeing a couple of the other teams not look so great. Baylor got beat by Texas State.
Oh, yeah.
BYU didn't look good at all. They won,
shut them
but
out, though.
Yeah, offensively though, they didn't look good. So, that's
Texas Tech,
right? And
to Wyoming.
Iowa State's still got all those suspensions and everything. So that changes things around a little bit. So,
I'd say I'll leave it from my standpoint. At this point, I love the receiver group, which is amazing 6 months ago when literally everybody left but one guy, Chris Scott, who had a nice catch on Saturday. And he was the only guy standing. So I give the staff, Satterfield and the staff, mass amounts of credit where you can go from one guy in the room to in the receiver room to what they've managed to pull together here. And I see, just again against EKU, we'll see how it is against Pitt. But if Saturday was any indication, I think the receiver group overall is probably better than last year's. And last year had 2 NFL guys in it, so 3 counting Wiley. But I don't know. I was impressed by Henderson and those other guys that they could get deep like that. Plus they have the guys little slot guys that can run around, and maybe they're just more creative this year too. They had, I'm drawing a blank already. I've already forgot his name. The smaller guy who went to the NFL from last year. But not Tyler Scott, but the other one. So
Turner. Was it Turner? Not Turner.
No, he's the guy now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think they were real creative with him. Turner, they were flip, everything was just, reverses and end arounds and all that kind of stuff. And they just seem to be using their strengths better. So we'll see. We'll see how Saturday goes, but I was definitely impressed by them.
Yep. And it's I think the 6th consecutive home opener victory for a new coach here in Nippert. So the last 6 head coaches, they won their opening game at Nippert. So congrats there. And it's beats a former Bearcat, Brian Kelly's debacle, which is, we love that here in Cincinnati.
Butch Jones too. Goodness, did you see that?
Butch Jones.
Crying
Butch Jones
on the
was crying on
sideline.
sideline. Yeah, I mean, he probably like, oops, there goes what am I going to do?
I don't have any tears for that guy. So
nope.
by
Not
the way,
at all.
Trey Tucker is what I was looking for. Trey
Tucker. Okay.
That's right.
Oh, we didn't even mention Evan Brader. I mean, he looked good as
he had a couple catches.
Good,
Yep.
I mean, quarterback to receiver.
Receiver.
I mean, if you can use his talents, I mean, he may discover that wide receiver is a ticket to the NFL. So
you're right. Right.
Oh, he's got the perfect frame for it too. 6'4" and those long arms.
And speed.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to slide on over to our Cincinnati Reds and talk a little bit about recap Giants and Cubs and West Coast swing, I guess, if you want to say, and then come back home. The thing that, as bad as we played on the West Coast, and I mean, we were 500, we were 5-5, right? So it was like
sweeping the Angels helped.
Yes, it did, but I mean, it just seemed a lot worse than 5-5. And then we split with the Cubs, which was huge. So we have the head-to-head against the Cubs.
God. I will say real quick, thank God that they use just wins and losses to figure out tiebreakers and not win or run differential.
Yeah.
With the Cubs, because our run differential is about -50 against them.
Yes.
And somehow we won more games. So.
It's because when the Cubs were bad, we pounded the Cubs in Wrigley that first time. I mean, we were scoring 10 runs.
I'm just saying run differential.
Right. Oh yeah. That is true. But the couple of interesting moves from the Reds, right? Their waiver wire. I know they were hoping to snag one of the pitchers that was on the waivers, but Cleveland, they did an about face, after they were going to throw in the towel. They did an about face and claimed the 3 pitchers, and Miami then passed, and we picked up Hunter Renfroe and Harrison Bader. Thoughts on the acquisitions? What do you think they can bring to us? I mean, we saw, Bader's speed, Renfroe, coming up big without a strikeout, scoring, getting out of that double play there.
Walk off, ground out.
Ground out. But hey, it was, big time moments. At least he didn't strike out, which is a plus in this lineup. Thoughts on the Giants and Cubbies, and plus the acquisitions?
I'll just say with the acquisitions, they're not going to hurt. I mean, they're legitimate major league players, with Bader given the speed and defense. Is Bader Friedel part 2? I mean, I think they're pretty similar players, good center fielders, get on base guys, I guess. I guess right versus left-handed, so he's the right-handed version of Friedel. So I guess they'll figure out. I mean, David salivating on that when you got the same player, with right-handed, left-handed. So Renfroe, we'll see. He's an up and down kind of player, so has power. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's positive, from the lineup standpoint. It can't hurt to have legitimate major leaguers, especially since COVID hit the Reds, and our pitching staff right now is not legitimate major leaguers, at least half of them. I mean, they got guys they just flew from Double-A who, just because they needed a body. I mean, guys, I was looking at the stats today. I'm like, who is that guy? He pitched for the Reds, like Chasen something. I was like, who? I never heard of this guy, Chasen Shreve or something.
Yeah, lefty.
He got released by the Tigers this season, and so we picked him off scrap heap, and now he's pitching for the Reds. So
in meaningful games, giving up a home run.
Right. So
which once again, this is.
I don't know if it's whoever it is, and maybe it's David Bell. I'll give him the credit on this. Like somehow they're putting this the pitchers, which on not good at all. And overall, they're probably really not, but somehow they still managed to. They're still 4 games above 500. So
my question is,
or 3 games, whatever they are.
I don't know. It was yesterday. You bring in Chasen and he pitches. He actually looked good in this one inning that he had, and then he came out to start the next inning because it was Bellinger. Right. And David Bell is this guy who loves the matchups, which I understand, but he also understands the negative split that Bellinger has. He hits left-handers a heck of a lot better than he does right-handers. Why didn't he go to Jabot or Sims in that situation? Why wait until after Bellinger hits that home run? And then
I'm tired of the way they pitch Bellinger too, by the way.
Oh,
I for the life of me, every single, whether it's Larkin, Chris Welsh, or the Cowboy, every time Bellinger's up to bat, they say, until he gets 2 strikes, he's looking breaking ball. And what do every single time? Is they throw him a first pitch freaking hanging breaking ball, and he just smacks it out of the park. You see when he faced Jabot threw him nothing but gas and a couple cutters, and he strikes out. When is David Bell going to actually use the analytics that he's given, since he's such a big analytics guy? When is he going to actually use them and make a proper decision?
Yeah. That's the $1 million question, right? But I loved Abbott's approach. I mean, he buzzed him a couple, like the first 3 times he faced him in Saturday's game, or I think it was Saturday's game. He threw him high and tight, get him off the plate a little bit, and then it sets up some of the other things. And but Abbott just knows how to pitch, right? I mean, he pitched really well, rebounding off of, the 6 previous starts where he was sluggish a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that Cub game, yeah, for as bad as it was Sunday, I don't know why Derek Law is ever in a position to, high leverage position.
He used everybody else earlier. He used Sims and
I think he just ran out of guys.
And Jabot, yeah.
And they don't want to use, which it doesn't make any sense. They didn't want to use Antone yesterday. They didn't want to use Kennedy
the day before.
Yeah. They didn't want to use Antone back-to-back games, which I can understand that. And then they used Kennedy because they had nobody else, and now Kennedy was supposed to start today, and it's going to be Antone starting today. So it's going to be another bullpen game.
So why is it not? He's just not ready yet because of the days or whatever. I guess did he pitch on Thursday? Cameron, what's his name? Not
Phillips.
Cameron.
Yeah, Phillips. Yeah, Phillips is starting tomorrow.
Yeah, Connor. Okay.
Yeah, Connor Phillips. Yeah, he's starting tomorrow. Cameron Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah.
For all you Finneytown veteran teachers out there. But anyway, so yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean the pitching staff's just a mess. I mean, right now they just gotta get game by game and inning by inning and get through these guys to get the the COVID crew back. So
yeah, the good thing is Seattle's throwing who's 2-3 with a 4.15. Going up against
that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. But
we face enough guys with ERAs over 6.
Yeah, we make them look like
no-hitters. So.
Yes,
especially right now.
Oh, hold on. There's some roster moves here. Let's take a look. The Reds selected right-handed pitcher Michael Marriott from the AAA Louisville. Recalled Casey Legumina. Yeah, Legumina up. Option Brett Kennedy to Louisville.
Well, because he can't pitch for
3-4
days now.
And then return Lyon Richardson to Louisville. So yeah, that's concerning as far as we are trying to shuffle pitchers back and forth. It's tough to do, but hopefully Phillips will make a debut and pitch stellar, sort of like what happens against the Reds, against rookies, and when they're facing them. So let's just hope for the best. Talking about injuries, obviously bad news is that Graham Ashcraft on the 15-day with stress reaction in his heel. So he's a little, he's banged up. Hopefully he can get right and get back for that last week and a half, make 1 or 2 starts. And hopefully, that'll be what we need to get over the hump and get into the playoffs. And then India did a lot of on-field stuff the other day, and it looks like probably midweek he might go to AAA and get a few games in and be ready for the weekend up here, or at least that Monday. Joey Votto took extended batting practice, but he's still not ready. And David Bell said that, they haven't even talked about a time return, time frame to return. There's only 23 games left, and I don't know if Votto will be back for any. I really don't know. But Hunter Green and Ben Lively and Cruz should be coming off the COVID list this weekend. So hopefully, they can rebound and, pitch well for us.
You got to be on it a certain amount of time or something?
I think it's 7 days.
It's 7 days.
Yeah.
It's 7 days. Yeah.
Like mandated 7 days?
Yep. So mandated 7 days. And so hopefully it doesn't filter through to our everyday players. But yeah. Okay. Our next little topic for the Reds, we're going to break down the pennant race here, remaining schedules, and see if the Reds, have a chance, which I think they do. If we look at the standings here, there is a 4-way tie for that final wild card spot with the Diamondbacks, the Marlins, San Francisco, and us. So, and I think Arizona and San Francisco have the head-to-head. I think all 3 of them have the head-to-head to us, right?
I can't remember. I didn't think Arizona did.
Huh?
I didn't think Arizona did.
No, we have it over. We have that over.
That's right.
We're
we
over
did.
Arizona.
Yeah, we're over Arizona,
Giants
but Miami
are on us.
and the Giants. So those 2. So we have to finish ahead of them, because if we're tied with them, then they get in. One of those 2 will get in. We're 3 games behind the Cubs, which, the Cubs schedule picks up. It gets a lot heavier.
Giants right now. Just started.
Yeah. They're playing the Giants, and then they still got 7, I think, with Milwaukee. So, and then the Giants play a lot with Arizona and the Dodgers. And then
Miami has Atlanta a few times.
Yeah, I think Miami might have Atlanta a few times. But breaking down the Reds' schedule here.
It's not very good.
Schedule.
It's a positive.
Yeah,
that's a positive note.
Right.
Tigers and
so they got 3 with Seattle, which
that'll be tough.
That'll be tough,
especially with no pitching.
Right. And 3 with St. Louis, which they better win, but
turbo crush them.
Yeah. And then they go to Detroit for 3, and then the Mets for 3. Very, very winnable games, right? And then Minnesota for 3, and then Pittsburgh for 3. And that rounds out the home portion of the schedule. And then we've got Cleveland for 2, in which, if we don't take the Ohio Cup and really just pound their butts because they stole the pitchers on purpose, we need to, destroy them. And then St. Louis to finish out the year. So our strength of schedule is a lot weaker than the other teams, and vying for the playoff. And I think if we can go, let's see, we got 23 games left.
Yeah, I think
6
so.
is 12. Yeah, 23 games left. I mean, if we can go,
I mean, it's also all based on the other team. So
Right.
we could go
right.
15-8 and still not get in. If another team
Yeah.
goes 20, I mean, there's so many variables right now.
There is.
We just
but-
have a week. The good news is we have a week schedule to play. Weaker schedule to play, and every one of those teams is not good at this point. So that's positive. But we still got to play, and we got to get some pitchers that can actually major league caliber and not strike out 15 times a game. So.
Yeah, so San Francisco, they got 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Rockies, and 3 against Cleveland. And then they got 4 against Colorado. Then the last, they got 2 against Arizona, 4 against the Dodgers, 3 against San Diego, and 3 against the Dodgers to round it out. Arizona.
I'm looking at the Marlins. They got theirs.
They got a tough one, don't
they? They're Dodgers now. Then they go Phillies, Brewers, Braves, Mets, Brewers, Mets, Pirates to finish it out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the finisher could, as long as the Brewers and the Braves take care of business and knock them way back. We should be fine. Let's see, who's this? Arizona. Yeah, they've got Colorado. Then they go 4 against Chicago. Then they have 4 against the Mets. Then they got the Cubs at home, San Francisco at home. And then they go to the Yankees, White Sox, and Houston. So, our schedule is, we're there. We got to take care of our business. So we've got to win the games. Win the series, right? I mean, if we can take 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, win the series like we were doing earlier in May and June, I think it'll put us right where we need to be.
I think 87 wins is I think that's the safe spot. If they can get to 87 wins, I think that'll get them in as a wild card. So what? That's
right.
16-7, 16-8. How many games do they have left?
23.
23.
So 16-7.
16-7.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if that's doable or not. Who knows?
I would take the under on that.
Yeah.
If that's what we're putting the number at, I'm taking the under. Yeah. I'll put my money up right now and say that. But I don't think they need to go that to win the third wild card. I think these teams are going to beat the hell out of each other. I'd go 83 to be the third wild card. None of these teams are all that good.
Yeah.
I mean, every team you just listed, they're all really mediocre. So with having that third wild card, it just opens things up. You don't need
it does.
You don't really need to be very good to get into the playoffs with that third wild card. And they're showing right now. If we were in the American League, we wouldn't have a chance right now. So,
Well, they'd be in the Central, so they'd have a chance at the Central. So.
Yeah, true. From that standpoint, you're right. Yeah, right. But I'm saying, the third wild card there has a much better record. So, just take advantage of it. They got to win some games and go from there.
Yeah, and a couple of news and notes from around the league. They're talking about managers, and they're saying that Francona is probably going to retire at the end of the year because of health issues. And then Baker doesn't have, he has a 1-year extension, but I don't know if it's been exercised yet, or an option for 24. I don't know if it's been picked up yet. And then there was another one that they haven't picked up yet either. And I don't know who it is. And then there's a lot of them that are probably going to get canned, especially the ones in New York. Who knows?
If we want a new hitting coach next year, there's definitely going to be one on the market. So
Sean Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Boone can come in. Yep. So we'll see there. All right. Let's talk about our top performers of the past week. Pitchers. Who do you got?
I went off the grid a little bit on both my hitters and pitchers just because of the returns. I gave it to TJ Antone. I mean, double Tommy John. I mean, only pitched one inning, but I mean, double Tommy
Scoreless,
John.
yeah.
He came back.
Yeah.
It's not a common thing, even in today's medical world, to come back from double Tommy John and actually be able to pitch in the major leagues again. So just for that fact, I'm giving him pitcher of the week. And I'll just say the same thing with hitter of the week. I went with Fraley, even though he didn't have the best stats of anyone. I went Fraley again. I mean, he came back and had good stats and that, a little bit of time he played, but I mean, he's going to help the team being back in there, and showed, when he played well against the Cubs, they won those games. So.
Yeah, I had Abbott as my pitcher. I just thought, was it Saturday? Just his performance was exactly what we needed. Hold the Cubs to 1 run, knowing the offense wasn't going to do much. He went out and he did what he had to do. That's, what an ace does. So I had Abbott. I didn't really come up with a hitter. I'm trying to look at the stats here real quick. But, I mean, Steer, from the games that I watched, Steer seemed to have really good at-bats. I mean, Marte had his first career walk-off, so you could say him too. But, yeah, I mean, the hitting numbers are just – it's so tough to come up with somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, Stevenson over the weekend, that's probably who I'll give it to is Stevenson, because I think he had his best series against the Cubs of the season. So,
yeah, that's who I'm going with, Stevenson. His last 15 games, he's hitting over 315, 3 bombs, 11 or 12 RBIs. That's who we thought he was going to be. When he starts taking the ball, driving the ball to right center, he's seeing it really well. He's on time. And he wasn't doing that early on. So I don't know if he's getting healthier now because that shoulder was, bugging him still. Don't know, but he looks like what we were hoping he was going to be when we made our, MVP picks and stuff like that. So, and my pitcher of the week, I went with, the kid that started yesterday. Even though he had a rocky first inning, he sort of settled down a little bit. Gave up 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 4 innings, but he had 7 Ks on only 2 walks. I thought he rebounded really, really well, and because I've seen a lot of rookie pitchers come up, and when they get rattled, they just can't. Especially for the Reds, they just can't regroup, and I'm thinking Lyon Richardson, his first start here, he could not regroup, gave up a lot of runs. So, I thought he rebounded, nicely. And then anybody that, when we're talking about the worst performance of the week or who should be demoted, they're just leaving left and right because we just got to fill in with arms and stuff. So there's, whoever's being sent down, sorry, it's because you pitched yesterday and you can't go for 2 days. So you're out of here. So
yeah, I don't even know who's on the roster at this point. So.
I mean,
I put Martini just because I needed somebody to put in there, and I mean he did help him with that home run, but I mean
he was their leadoff hitter the other day. What do you mean you want him sent down?
Yeah. That's really needs to be. He's 0 for 5 yesterday. I mean he's not a major league hitter. I mean he's 32 years old, ever, and been playing around the world kind of thing. I mean so. And then I did put a side note. Ellie De La Cruz doesn't need to be sent down, but I mean he needs an off season. I mean 13 strikeouts and 25 at bats. If you take away that 2 days ago, that 3-hit game, I mean he's probably batting under 100 over the past month. So he is struggling. So he just needs time.
He needs the off season,
but he needs the off season, especially because he can't change anything right now. He's just going up there and swinging. So. So I'm hoping the off season will get him some time to kind of figure things out again.
Work on that approach, lay off a curveball.
That ceiling of De La Cruz. I mean, I'm going to be upset if again another Reds guy doesn't reach their ceiling when he should be the next Acuna or the next, you name the best players, and he's the one always comes to mind. I mean, we should have Ronald Acuna Part 2 on this team, and if he's not that, that's disappointing. So.
Yep. All right, so hopefully, the Reds take 2 or 3 here from Seattle. Cincy West, and we can, because I think Fraley will have, he's looking forward to it. Marte looking forward to it. So hopefully,
as long as Luke Weaver doesn't toe the mound, I think we'll be all right. So I don't think I don't think they have him as a starter though. I think
they've got him as a reliever, so he'll come in somewhere along the line and shut us down.
Strike out the side in the eighth or something. Yeah,
something like that. High leverage situation, bases loaded, no outs, and you'll. Yeah. So let's hope not. But
it's gonna.
It's going to happen somewhere along the line. But yes. So all right, we're gonna shift gears here. We're gonna move into our trivia. Sam had the trivia question last week, I believe, and Carly's got this week. So Sam, you want to review that? And
so the Braves this year, they have 5 guys who have now hit 25 home runs. So the question was, who was the last team to have 5 guys hit 25 or more home runs? You guys got it right. It was Cincinnati Reds of 2017. Yep.
Took us a while, but
yeah, it did take us a while.
Yes. All right, Crowley, hit us.
Okay. In honor of the Reds starting 14 rookies in one game, or playing 14 rookies in one game. That's not true. I exaggerated that for all you fact checkers out there, but it's probably pretty close. So your question is, because in honor of that, of playing rookies, rookie MLB player has the most home runs most home runs in a season. So MLB rookie with the most home runs in history and for a season.
Either league.
I mean, I can give you hints, but I'll say either. Either. Yes, either league. Yes, across MLB history. I thought you were asking me for a hint.
No,
your dad wouldn't ask me yet.
So.
Rookie. Was it McGuire 48?
Nope.
No, I think it was Judge, because Judge I thought had 50 something, or Pete Alonso. It's Pete Alonso.
It is Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, 52.
52.
Judge was second. He had 51.
Yeah, because then the very next year, Alonso had 52.
Yeah, McGuire had 49, I think it was.
And I got a part 2. So. Good job on that. I wasn't gonna use part 2, but you got it quick. So part 2. Yeah, and in honor of rookies, exactly. In honor of rookies, still, there's 50 players that have that are tied. Actually, no, it's not 50. It's 35. 35 players who are tied for the most homers in a single game. It's 3. So there's 34, 35 players who have hit rookies who have hit 3 home runs in a single game. 2 of them are Reds.
I'm not naming them. Oh, the Reds.
Name the Reds.
Yeah,
name all 35 players. No. Yeah. Name the 2 Reds that are tied for the most home runs as a rookie in a single game with 3.
With 3.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them have done it this year.
I
don't think so.
Nope. Steers hit 2, but he's there. So we're probably going to, is it Bernie Carbo?
Too old.
Too old. Okay.
Way too old.
Way too old. Okay. Votto. Votto hit 3.
Yep. 2008.
Yeah. Wow. What about Jay Bruce?
Nope.
No, not his rookie year. Dunner?
I was thinking Dunn. Trying to think of some just pure. What about Willie Moe?
It's not Willie Moe.
Austin Kearns? Kearnsy?
I wish it was Willie Moe. It's not Kearns, no.
I know he's hit 3 home runs against the Cubs a couple of times at Wrigley. But I don't know if that was his rookie year or not.
You know who else hit 3 against the Cubs at Wrigley? Drew Stubbs. Is that his rookie year?
Nope.
No. Are we in the right time frame, or is it earlier or later?
With
Stubbs
as your person, it's more recent.
More recent. Okay.
Stubbs.
Aquino.
It is Aquino.
The Punisher right there, baby. The Punisher.
2019.
14. 14 of them came in August. So
Right.
yes.
When he hit like 14
right.
more the rest of his career.
Yeah, he might have hit only 3 more the rest of his career. So
something like that. So that's good.
In 2019. So
all right, perfect.
When you said Willie Moe, Sam, I'm like, well, I'm about ready to say, well, you're basically saying that it's not him, but it's the same player a few years later. So
Willie Moe. So all right, that was a good one. So I know our producer will upload that clip onto YouTube for all those people out there, and we'll put it out on our Instagram and our Facebook account. So once again, you can follow us on Cincy Sports Scene on Instagram or Facebook, and you can always DM us if you have a trivia question or if you want a topic of the week that you want to talk about. So shifting gears into our topic of the week, we're going to discuss the Welcome to the Jungle Bengals schedule. We're going to give our predictions on our overall win totals, and then we'll break down the games here, and we'll just go through, see which games do we think if the Bengals are going to lose any. I don't know. Some of you guys might have them going 17-0. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see who's the we'll see who's the we'll see who's the pessimist of the bunch.
Sure to be me.
And we'll go from there. So with that, let's go right into Welcome to the Jungle. Bengals open up Sunday week one at Cleveland. Let's talk real quick about our win totals, and we'll go down and break it off. So I've got my spreadsheet up. Crawley, I got you up first. What predictions? What's your win totals for the Bengals? How many wins versus how many losses?
Just overall.
Overall, yeah. Then we'll go game by game.
Okay.
So yeah,
I have them 12-5.
12-5. Okay, Sam.
I have them 12-5 as well.
12-5. All right, and I have them 14-3.
I knew it. I knew you were going to be above us. I would have bet money on that one.
With an asterisk. I got an asterisk. And
asterisk.
The asterisk is if we don't win at Cleveland, it ain't 14-3. It ain't 14-3. It could be. Yeah, but it could be 3-14. I mean, Jesus, Pete. So.
Less than the Patriots.
No. Yeah. All right. So yes, and I don't know if Phil Farr, came after you with a stick or anything.
I made sure he was aware of it. So
okay. So I don't know if he came after you or not, but all right. Let's go down each game. So and we'll predict the score of this game this week, and each week we'll predict the score, but we won't have to do that now. But week one, Browns at Cleveland, 1 p.m. CBS. I think we've got the second crew on it, which is better. I mean, I'm okay with that. I think it's Ian Eagle and Charlie Davis or somebody like that versus Romo and Nance, which I really can't stand.
I like Ian Eagle. Ian Eagle's good.
I do too.
I like him.
Yeah, I like that crew.
As long as they don't give us what's his name, Gumble. He can't call games anymore. The 2 games he called for us last year. Terrible.
So let's go. I've got them winning this game 24-10. Sam.
Whoa, dang.
Oh, I had it as a loss as far as my schedule.
24-10.
Just I think it's going to be.
I'm on Sam's side on this.
Similar to last year. They're just going to have a slow start. I hate to say it, but I mean, it's another no Burrow preseason, essentially. No games, training camp. I mean, he'll have the 2 weeks leading up and then the week before he got hurt. So 3 out of the 6 weeks he was able to practice or whatever. So, I mean, that's 3 out of the 7 weeks or whatever, however many weeks it is. I just think that division on the road, we saw what happened last year, division at home. This is on the road. I think Myles Garrett is going to do what TJ Watt did last year, and I just don't think it's going to be pretty. Of course, I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping the Bengals go 17-0 and not 12-5. But prediction-wise, I have this one as a loss.
Ooh, what score?
What's your score? Yeah.
I'll say 24-21.
All right, Crowley.
I have them in a loss, unfortunately, and for a lot of what Sam said, but also they're playing Cleveland, and we just don't play Cleveland for whatever reason. That's the team we play the worst out of the division. So, but I totally agree with the Myles Garrett thing. I think they're going to line him up over Jonah Williams continuously, and Williams is going to be on the top, spinning around. So again, they didn't play their all. I don't care that they're all veterans. They didn't play their offensive line in the preseason, other than Jonah Williams. I think it's going to take them a game to figure all that out, because offensive line is so about rhythm and timing and working together. So I think it's going to be a rough day for the offense, and I don't think the Browns offense is all that great either, except they're probably going to run Chubb about 47 times. So I'll go Browns 20-17.
You can send the hate mail to Sam and Crawley, care of Cincy Sports Scene. So not me, because we're going to win. We're going to win. We got to win. We have to win, because we can't go 0-2. Can't go 0-2. So, all right. Moving on to week 2, Baltimore comes to town. I've got us winning that game.
I do too.
I have a win.
All right, that's good. Then week 3, it's a Monday night, ESPN. Hopefully, those of you that have Spectrum, you have that figured out so that you can watch this game. If not, we'll recap it for you the following week. So tune in and hear us out. It is the Ring of Honor game. So the Rams are coming to town. They are, their secondary was rated the worst secondary in the NFL after preseason. So I've got the Bengals winning that as well.
Yeah,
I did
the
too.
Bengals winning.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go to the Titans the following week, week 4. I got them victory.
Same.
Bengals win.
Okay. Week 5 at Arizona. This is the Kyler Murray could come off, but I don't think he is. I think they're keeping him on.
I saw some talk today. They might keep on the whole season.
Yeah, I saw that
Right.
too.
Because there's some injury guarantee money or something that they're
exactly.
due.
Exactly.
So Arizona's a mess. They're the worst team in the league, at least on paper. They're literally trading guys for almost nothing just to tank, I guess. I don't know. They just traded like their best linebacker for a 7th round pick.
Yep. Caleb Williams will be a Cardinal next year.
Bengal. That has to be a Bengal win.
Yeah, I got them as win. And then this game, I was going back and forth, but Seattle coming to town.
I got to step out for a second, gentlemen.
Okay.
You guys go, and then I'll catch up with.
What do you have for Seattle? You got a win or a loss? Okay, I got a win for Seattle.
Yeah, I do as well. I've got a win there.
Okay. So then we've got a bye, and then coming out of the bye, we travel to San Francisco, and that's where I have us losing our first game.
I have that as a loss as well. Second game, I was kind of up in the air just because it is after the bye. It gives us, the travel time shouldn't have as great of an impact, more time to prepare. But I think that's just a loss. You're not going undefeated. You got to have losses somewhere. So
right. So, and then Buffalo comes back to town on a Sunday night game, and I've got the Bengals winning that.
I do too. Got to win there.
Houston, I can say probably confidently that all 3 of us would have a win there.
Yep.
And then we go to Baltimore, and that's where they pick up their second loss in week 11.
Got a loss there as well.
Okay. And then we've got Pittsburgh Sunday at home. I've got a win there.
I do too.
And then Jacksonville on a Monday night. I was going back and forth with this, but I gave them the win. I just think we'll be rolling. I think we're going to win that game.
Yeah, I've got to win too. I have the Jags win in the South, but I think it's going to be kind of similar to last year. They're not going to win because they're 12-5. I think they're 9-8, 10-7 type of win the division team.
And then the Colts, that's a win.
That's a win. Yep.
I mean, unless Anthony Richardson is just, and we can't stop the, running quarterback.
I like how we've played running quarterbacks the past 2 years, though. So I don't think that has the effect that it has in the past on our defense.
We're in week 15, Crawley, the Vikings. I've got us beating them in the LSU reunion game.
You want me to catch up on that with that?
You can. Yep. This is where we're at. So
I had them beating Seattle. That puts me at 5-1. They're losing at San Francisco. I have them beating Buffalo.
Yep.
I think they're going to pick up from last year on that one. I have them beating Houston. I have them beating at Baltimore. That's my kind of a little swing game there. So at that point, we're 8-2. Beating Pittsburgh on the return game here. And then I have them losing to Jacksonville. At Jacksonville. So they're 9-3. I have them beating Indy. It puts them at 10-3. And Minnesota, I have them winning 3 at this point.
Okay.
Yep, I've got them beating the Vikings too.
Okay, so then we go to Pittsburgh, and this is where it's Saturday, December 23rd game. I have that loss there. I said Pittsburgh will get us there.
I do too.
I do as well.
Okay. Then moving on, then we go travel to Kansas City, and this is put up or shut up time, and I think we beat Kansas City because we need that game to clinch home field advantage. And that's
I have it as a loss. I don't think that they're going to be able to rebound after beating the Steelers. So
I mean, losing.
I have that as a loss.
Okay.
Or losing to the Steelers. I don't think
they're losing back-to-back games.
Back-to-back.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope I'm wrong. I really want you to be right on this one, Dave, but I have them losing to Kansas City. So
as long as Chris Jones isn't playing, we're okay.
He'll be back by then. He ain't going to sit out
and then
give up all his money.
Last game of the year, Cleveland at home. I have us winning that as well because that might be a bye. So we have to be playing people.
So I have that as a win. Yep.
All right. So there is that, the rundown. And each week we will give our
Did Sam and I differ on anything?
I had them beating the Jags. You had them
Jacksonville.
losing to the Jags. Yeah. And then I had that loss
were...
at Ravens, whereas you had them beating the Ravens.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my 3 losses of the year. The first one was at San Fran, then at Baltimore, and then at Pittsburgh. So we go undefeated at home, lose 3 games on the road there. So, all right. Guess this is the portion that Crawley will take over for the topic of the week. And
we got to do our playoff teams.
Oh yeah, our playoff teams. I'm sorry. Let me pull up this and let's go our playoff team. So give me your playoff team, Sam.
AFC first.
Yeah, let's go AFC first.
I've got 1 seed. I've got the Chiefs just because of the head-to-head there against the Bengals. I got the Bengals as the 2 seed. Bills as the 3. Jags as the 4. And then wild card, I've got Jets as the 5. Ravens as the 6. And Dolphins as the 7.
All right, Crawley. Let's go AFC first from everybody, then we'll go NFC.
Okay.
Right,
so I just broke into division winners and wild cards. So my division winners are the Bengals, Buffalo, Kansas City, and Jacksonville.
All right, wild card.
And then my 3 wild cards are Pittsburgh, Miami, and the Chargers.
Okay, and then I have I got the Bills in the East, coming out of the East, Chiefs in the West, Bengals in the north, and then the Jags in the south. And my wild card, I had the Ravens, Dolphins, and Chargers. Don't know why I have the Chargers, but that's what I got. All right, so Sam, your NFC.
NFC, 1 seed I had the 49ers. 2 seed I had the Cowboys.
Okay.
3
Hold on a
seed.
second.
No, okay.
Cowboys.
3 seed was the Vikings.
All right.
And then the 4 seed, I just picked a name out of a hat for the South, and I got the Saints. So I'm going with the Saints. Wild card teams, I had the Eagles, Rams, and Lions.
Wow. All right. Crawley.
Division winners, I have Philadelphia, San Francisco, Green Bay,
Ooh.
and New Orleans.
All right. Wild carders.
And my wild card is Dallas,
Dallas.
Detroit, and Minnesota. I'm going 3 from the same division.
All right. I had the Eagles for the East, the 49ers. I had the Vikings. Then I had the Saints. And then my wild card, I had the Lions. I had the Seahawks. And then I had the G-Man Giants. All right. What's next on the docket, Crawley? Where are we going?
Okay. Yep. So we're going to talk about the Bengals first, some predictions on the Bengals.
Okay.
So we're kind of going to, like we did with the Reds, preseason awards.
All right.
So I'm going to run through a list, and I came for the awards as well, just
Okay.
like we did for the Reds. And then we're going to picture and look at. I have a few. What are your picks for certain things for the whole NFL?
Okay.
Certain awards for the whole NFL. So that's the whole thing. So
All right. So
your first one is. So this is the Bengals preseason awards. Your first one is the Icky Shuffle Newcomer of the Year.
Icky Shuffle.
Who's going to be the Icky Shuffle Newcomer of the Year? And that could be a rookie, or it could be just a new
Or
player on the team.
free
It
agent.
doesn't have to be a rookie.
All right, Sam. Who do you want? I'll let you go first.
That's a tough one. Kind of want to say Orlando Brown, and that's what I'm going to say. I think his impact is going to be the greatest at left tackle. So
Yeah. I wasn't going to go that way, but yeah, because I forgot about Orlando Brown. So I am going to say Orlando Brown as well. Crawley?
That's a good one. Probably should be what I would go with, but just to be different, I'll go with Irv Smith.
Yeah, I was thinking Irv, but then I was thinking my boy, punt returner extraordinaire.
I wouldn't even go with him for the
Chuck.
receivers if I was going to receiver.
Yeah. All right, next one.
The next one is the Ken Anderson should be in the Hall of Fame Offensive Player of the Year, not named Joe Burrow.
Okay.
It's a long title here if you're typing this in. So
I am not.
I was going to say the Ken Anderson should be in the Hall of Fame Offensive Player of the Year.
Well, I'm going to go Chase. Sam?
yeah, I'm going to go Chase as well.
Crawley?
Yeah, I'll go Chase as well. So
Okay, so that's a clean sweep. So it'll probably be somebody like
chalk on
Joe
that one.
Mixon. Yeah.
right, yeah, contract
Yeah.
year or whatever you call
Yeah.
it for him.
Yep.
Okay, so we all
All right,
went with
next
Chase
one.
on that one. You want me to type this in? You want me to keep track of this? what we're saying?
I'm typing it
Oh,
in.
you're getting it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm one step ahead of our producer, so who's
Okay,
not here
good.
today. So yeah,
That's
I can
not hard to
spell
beat.
Anderson and
Not hard to
Ken.
be, right?
So right.
Okay. Next is the Ken Riley is in the Hall of Fame, Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year. Ooh. I think just because of the numbers factor, I'm going to go with Logan Wilson.
I will go Trey Hendrickson. Even though I was thinking real hard, but not real long, on my Aaron Donald comparison there, but
Zach Carter.
they're expecting
They said he's had a great
they're
camp.
expecting he lost some, fat, gained muscle quick.
Sounds like he's
I would
going to
not be surprised.
Yeah, like basically him and BJ Hill are going to be a lot of rotation.
Yep, I would not be surprised if he has a great year too. But
let's hope so.
But I want Hendrickson, sack man.
Okay. I'll go just because I think he already showed some stuff last year that was really, really good, and he had no preseason. And this year he's got a full camp. And he's gonna surprise a lot of people in the NFL. Cam Taylor-Britt. He's gonna become I think he's gonna be a Pro Bowler cornerback.
Yep, that's a good pick.
Okay.
All right. Next.
And I don't know why I went with this. I meant to be Bengals for some reason. I put a Reds player in this one.
The Deion Sanders.
Yeah, no. This is the Mariano Duncan most underrated player on the roster of the year. Most underrated player.
Ooh.
You want me to go first, Sam?
Yeah, you can go ahead and go first.
I'm going to go our Michigan punter, Robbins.
Robbins.
There you go.
I think that's going to be huge for us this year. So.
Ooh. Yeah. Man, I don't know. Because to me, this guy's not really underrated, but maybe to most people he is. DJ Reader, but I don't.
Well,
I'm just going to go ahead and go with DJ Reader.
Yeah, all right.
Because his numbers won't be there. He'll allow other guys to get their numbers, but
right.
Yeah.
And Crawley?
I'll go Jermaine Pratt. I think he's going to be big time with he's going to be super happy and contented with that contract that he's going to be here for a few years. They're going to use him more in the passing game, and I'll go Pratt.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next is the Joe Burrow best draft pick of the year. So this you got to stick to the 7 draft picks.
I need to look up who they were here real quick.
Yeah. Who was we had?
Here I can.
Murphy was the first one.
Yeah, Miles Murphy was first one. Then we had the cornerback or a safety.
DJ
Turner and then Battle.
Yeah.
Charlie Jones, Chase Brown.
Charlie Jones, Yoshevich.
Yeah. Brad Robbins and then DJ Ivy.
Yeah. So who's going to be the best draft pick of the year?
Man, only because I don't know how much playing time those other guys will get. I'm going to go with Brad Robbins. I mean, because I think all the other guys will just kind of be, they're all going to be slotted as backups, at least to start the year. Injuries may have something to do with that going forward. But so as of right now, I'm going to say Robbins.
Yeah, I had Robbins as the most underrated player of the year, so you would assume that would be the best draft pick. But I'm going to go Chase Brown. Yeah, Chase Brown.
Yeah,
right?
Running back.
Yeah, I think he's going to come in and fill that third down role nicely. That's who I think.
Yeah, I was thinking Chase Brown, but I still think that they love, they just still have a affinity for Joe Mixon, so he's going to be out there a lot. So I ended up going DJ Turner. You can never have enough cornerbacks, and I think he'll eventually slot in. He'll be the backup across the board of the three starting cornerbacks.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Well, I guess I haven't, real quick on the cornerbacks, I just haven't seen anything. Is Awuzie going to be ready to go week 1?
I think.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
thought he was.
Couldn't remember, so. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's ready to go week 1.
Okay.
Now, how many snaps
he's not on
he
the
gets?
pup list, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many snaps he gets, don't know. They might take it easy with him, rotate him here and there. But
you're probably right there. Yeah.
So, I think they're going to probably ease him back into it, but we'll see.
So two more Bengal ones. The last kind of it's not even an awards thing. It's just God's stupid name again. The Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson biggest concern of the year. It can be a player, it can be a group, it can be whatever. So the Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson biggest concern of the year for the Bengals.
For me, it's going to be the safeties. 2 new safeties. How well are they going to mesh together and hold up the back end of the secondary?
All right. I think mine is going to be the health of the O-line. If we have to go through what we did last year at the end of the year, we're not making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, mine's the O-line as well. I think the talent is there. I know the talent is there.
Yeah,
they got veterans now, and there's no, guys who weren't drafted and just guys just filling guys that are backups. But it's still, you never know until the season gets going and stuff. So for me, it's just the production of the O-line.
All right. And the last one?
Last one is name your 4 core players on the current roster. If you had to, who's your 4 building blocks or your 4 core players? Moving forward, looking at, not just this year, but over the next 3 to 5 years.
What do you got, son?
Burrow, Chase, guy from the defense, Logan Wilson. I want to say Higgins, but I don't think it is. I think it's Orlando Brown Jr. I think those are the 4.
Okay. I got Burrow, Chase, and then I have I'm going to say CTB, just because I think that he needs that. And then I think I am going to go with Yoshi. I think he's going to surprise some people next year with T gone. He's going to step right in. And with Tyler Boyd gone, I think he's going to step right in and have some big production. So,
yeah, that's a good one out of the box.
Moving forward, right? I mean,
yeah.
You said the next 3 to 5 years, so
yeah.
That's.
I'm going to be optimistic. The T's still here, so
okay.
Yeah. I didn't go off the board that much. I like that you went off the board a little bit. So for me, it's Burrow, Chase, Cam Taylor-Britt, and Logan Wilson.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Okay.
Got those.
And then I know that this might be a little tougher just because we're thinking all NFL, but we still should lay these out. Predictions here. Who's the player of the year across the board?
Ooh. I think a Bengals due for this. I think Chase is due, full season healthy. I'm going to say Jamar Chase.
Okay. Well, and I'm going to go with the guy who's getting on the ball, Burrow. Crawley?
Yeah, my optimism is we're going to win out here and hoping the Bengals, if you make the Super Bowl or which I don't know, 12-5 will be. So hopefully I'm wrong on that.
No, but 14-3 might. 14-3 might.
That better. That better. 14-3.
Yep.
So I'll go Burrow as well. I'll go Burrow.
All right. Next one.
And then on the flip side, NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow. All right, I got mine.
I've got mine. You can go ahead and say yours.
All right, I got Micah Parson.
Fortunately, I think it's going to be in division and TJ Watt.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I hope he
Let's
injures
hope
his
not.
pec again and misses 10 games.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Yeah, I'm going to actually agree with Sam because I have Pittsburgh making the playoffs even. So for Pittsburgh to make the playoffs, TJ Watt's going to have to be a big part of that. So I'll go TJ Watt.
All right.
And then two more, NFL Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
I mean, I can start if you guys are thinking. Since I had a chance to think on
go
this,
ahead.
So.
Yep.
I think because they're going to use them, a lot, I'll go Bijan Robinson, glamour position. So.
Yeah. I'm leaning quarterback. He's with the Falcons. Right, crappy division. Yeah. That is a good pick.
But I'm going to go with another running back, Jamar Gibbs from the Lions.
Yeah. I'm going to zag from the Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, I'm going to zag.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm going to go with a quarterback. Starting week 1, I'm going to actually go Anthony Richardson because I think his rushing numbers are going to be pretty impressive. And that quarterback rushing numbers seem to have more sway on voters than they should. So,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Last one is coach of the year.
It's probably going to be the tight end from Buffalo.
Kincaid.
Yeah, Kincaid. Yeah, they're going to use him in so many different ways. It's going to be crazy.
We'll go with him.
That's what it's probably going to be. No, I'm still sticking with Gibbs.
Okay.
But and so I'm
then
coach
of the year, NFL Coach of the Year.
Boy.
It's time for Zach Taylor to get some love. I'm going with Zach Taylor. It's time. He should have won it last year. Should have won it 2 years ago, to be quite honest.
Should have won it 2 years ago.
Should have won it 2 years ago. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's.
I think 2 years ago, even more than last year.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I'm going to go with Zach Taylor as well. I think he's not talked about ever. I was watching the NFL Network earlier. They had it on, and they went through their coaches of the year, and he wasn't even. His name never even came up as a possibility. So, I'm going to go with him.
All right. I'm going with one. I hope Zach wins it. I really do. But because we are Cincinnati and nobody loves us, they're going to be salivating all over the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson. That's who I'm going with, Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Well, on that same breath, Salah out there in New York, if they make the playoffs, might give it to him too.
Yeah, I think I agree with. I think if the Jets make the playoffs, he's a lock for Coach of the Year, even if they're the 7th team that make it, just because of the Jets.
They could be 8-1 and squeak in there,
right?
Yeah,
and or whatever, and you're the like one of those crappy years where kind of thing. So.
Yep. All right. Anything else? So
that's all I got from that standpoint.
Our rundown real quick of our win totals. We have Charlie and Sam being the pessimistic Bengal haters at 12-5, and me being the one that loves our Bengals at 14-3.
12-5 with a Super Bowl victory. So
okay. All right. But I got that 14-3.
I like 14-3 better.
Has to come to.
Because 14-3 will get them the number 1 seed. I'm not sure 12-5 will. So
12-5 probably will not, unfortunately. So especially if you have Kansas City beating them. So that means we have to go to Kansas City again. So yeah.
Right.
All right. And then our, Crawley has the Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, Jags, Pittsburgh, Miami, Chargers, Eagles, San Fran, Green Bay, New Orleans, Dallas, the Lions, and Minnesota making the playoffs. Sam has the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Jags, Jets, Ravens, and Dolphins, followed by the 49ers, Cowboys, Vikings, Saints, Eagles, Rams, and Lions. And I have the Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Jags, Ravens, Dolphins, Chargers. With in the NFC counterparts, the Eagles, the Niners, the Vikings, the Saints, the Lions, the Seahawks, and the Giants. So we'll post our records and things, and I have the Bengals winning week 1. Those two guys have them losing. So once again, send all hate mail that direction, please. Hopefully.
So that was just I have them losing in the overview, but now that that's gone, I have them winning 31-17. So.
So you're flip-flopping, huh?
I'm just saying, for my official predictions, I had it as a loss, but now moving forward, I'm going to predict that the Bengals win every single game. So.
Okay. So
that's how that works.
Oh, so that way you can't be wrong. Okay,
right.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
You're like a coin, two-sided, baby. All right. Anything else for the good of the order?
No, I think we're good.
No. All right. So next Sunday, 7 p.m., we should be coming to you live on YouTube. You can check us out on all of the podcasting platforms if you can't tune in live to catch our live reaction from week 1. And we'll discuss week 2 and talk more about the Reds and UC's week 2 game at Pitt. So until then, this is Dave for Sam and Crawley. Have a wonderful week. Hopefully you are enjoying your Labor Day holiday. With that, take care, everybody. See you next week.
See you.
Take care.